My name is Constance Mogale. I am from the Northwest. I am originally from Ramatlabama, 600 in Mafikeng, and also from Goedgevonden near Ventersdorp. I'm mentioning these two communities because uh, it is from my maternal and my paternal. And I'm working as the national coordinator for the Alliance for Rural Democracy. And the Alliance for Rural Democracy is a network of organizations who are mobilizing, who are the Land Access Movement of South Africa, Mkuzi, and all the CBOs in 5 provinces, which is Eastern Cape, KwaZulu-Natal, Limpopo, Mpumalanga, and the Northwest. And the other ball is the research unit of the Alliance, and it is led by the Land and Accountability Research Center in the University of Cape Town. And then there's also other small or other research organizations, which are academic, mostly of them. And then we've got the litigation board. So the lead, it's the Legal Resources Center, who outsources others in terms of their competency. Tomorrow we are going to court to strike down the Traditional and Coastal Leadership Act of 2019. In 2019, we went to the Union Building to march and ask the president not to sign this bill into law, because this bill is going to is going to take land rights of the people and put power into traditional leaders who can sign the deals with third parties without prior consultation and consent, as according to the Interim Protection of Land Rights Act of the people. So the people who are standing most to suffer here is the rural people who are depending on the land for their livelihoods. So people who are depending on livestock farming, who are depending on farming, who are depending on hunting, who are depending on the grass cutting to sell and make their livelihoods and feed their kids, are going to suffer. So we also argue that, so this case is not, we're arguing procedural procedures, that there was not enough consultation with the people who are affected. So why we are saying that is, even if you call a big community meeting in town where thousands of people attended, it depends on how are they going to be affected by this law. So you can't call Dick, Tom, and Harry to the hearings which are about land for grazing, when those people are not livestock farmers. So we need to make sure that consultation. So the Lamosa one Concord, which was about restitution, made it clear that when we talk public participation, people must know what is the agenda of that public participation. The notices must go well in time, that people must be prepared to go there. We must make sure that people who are going to discuss the bill, they understand. It means the bill must be translated into the indigenous language of those people. And people must be given means of transport to get there. So what we saw, because I, Constance Mogale, and Tiani Duda, with the LAC team and our other colleagues, followed the hearings from the first day, which was in Kimberley, in Kuruman. So when it was Kuruman, the first day, the NCOP didn't arrive. And mind you, people who were there were not given transport fares. It means they are taking their last money to go to the hearings, only to find that the hearings is tomorrow without prior notice. So we followed them, and we made sure that we want to check whether people understood the contents of the bill and whether people agree with the contents of the bill. And from the first hearing to the last, we know that people didn't agree to this bill, because this bill was about recognition of the Khoisan nation. But if you look at the contents of it, was not about the recognition, because the labeling in itself, it says traditional and Khoisan leadership bill, recognition or withdrawal. So it gives the president the powers to recognize you as the traditional leader or to withdraw you as a traditional leader. Now, the most important part about this bill is that the very same Khoisan nation that has to be recognized, and we support that their recognition is long overdue, they are discriminated by this act because they are not recognized in the same footing as the traditional leaders, African traditional leaders who have enjoyed that recognition from the dawn of democracy. So the traditional leaders are now recognized in terms of the boundaries of the land, in terms of land, the territories. And the Khoisan leaders are recognized in terms of affiliation of the people. So they need to collect, like political campaigners, they need to collect ID numbers of the Khoisan nation who says, we recognize this family or this man as our traditional leader. But we know that Khoisan people are the hunters. They are not staying in one community. And it is going to be very difficult for them to collect those IDs. It means they will never be recognized. So the Khoisan people who are in parliament, who just want to be recognized because they want to enjoy the recognition and get salaries from the same as the traditional leaders who are recognized, they're just saying yes to the bill. But if you look at the contents of the bill, it says no about their recognition because it doesn't recognize their language. All right? So when we say Khoisan, it is just a popular buzz name. It is not representing the Nama, the Hrikwa, their ways of living, their land rights, because the 1913 Land Act cutted the Khoisan nation out. The Restitution of Land Rights Act from 1913, it's saying from 1913 forward, you can claim the land. But we know that the land was taken before 1913, which leaves the Khoisan nation out. And this is substantial issues that we are unfortunately not able to debate in court. And we are saying procedurally, the process was flawed. We wrote letters to the chairperson of the cooperative governance and cooperative governance and traditional affairs, and the portfolio committee to raise our concerns and telling them that we don't think this is participatory enough. They've ignored our letters. We wrote letters to the president. So one of our stalwarts, Emily Chali, even gave the president a letter by hand at Nazareth, saying to him, please have mercy on rural people. You are creating or recreating the Bantustan. All right? You cannot have laws that are separate, that are going to apply to only traditional leaders and tribal communities. You are repeating the very same Bantu Authorities Act. And you are now, if you look at the map where these laws are going to apply, it is exactly the map of the former homelands. And when we voted for this government, we were voting for one united South Africa, and we were voting for one democratic vision. So we need to make sure that we democratize our own traditional authorities. They need to, traditional councils, they need to transform themselves from tribal authorities that was created through the Bantu Authorities Act to the traditional councils which are created through the Traditional Leadership and Governance Framework Act of 2003. So by imposing these laws on us, you are really stripping us of our land rights and imposing these laws so that we are not enjoying the same democratic rights that every South African is going to enjoy. So we are subjected to the rule of law that was created firstly by Verwoerd. So that is why we are saying #StopTheBantustan bills. Hashtag Land to the People. Thank you.